Did you battlers hear the news? Shiny Rayquaza? Battlers, you know what it is. JayDevin back at it with another video. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Subscribe if you feel my vibe. And power up, punch the notification bell for all the PvP content. Okay, not only are we getting Shiny Rayquaza, but for the official Pokemon Company 2019 World Championships, there is going to be a Pokemon Go PvP World Championships Invitational. Dude! Out of all the current participants, there are two that I am extremely happy for. Number one, PokéAK. Number two, King. Yes, King. Congratulations to both of you. This is not only a massive achievement for those two as creators, but this is also a very massive achievement for the Pokemon Go PvP scene as a whole. And for all of us who have been working so hard to make it bigger, to make it better, and to help the world see just how great Pokemon Go PvP truly is. I did fill out my entry for that sweepstakes for a chance for my name to be drawn to participate, and I hope you did as well. If you did not, or you have not, or if you weren't aware of that, I am going to put a link to it in the description. Now, for today's video, we are going to be covering a best of 3 against a very skilled battler. They are an ace trainer. They are one of the best in the world. Yes, the best in the world. You are in for a treat. For this regionals best of 3, we are going to be going up against Frampty Pants. Frampty Pants did take first place in our 7-round Jungle Cup tournament, which after his victory shot him from challenger status all the way up to number 16 in the world. As you can see from my team below is the same team I was using on streams: Medicham, Sableye, Jirachi, Azumarill, Swampert, as well as Skarmory. And the team Frampty Pants brought right here is composed of Medicham, Azumarill, Skarmory, Tropius, Probopass, and Sableye. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this best of 3. Again, this is for the Mirror Cup Regionals. Regionals 2.0. The main thing that really sticks out to me and kind of concerns me potentially as a threat with his lineup is the fact that he has Tropius and Probopass. Probopass can be shut down hard by Medicham as well as the Mud Boys, but Tropius in some situations can be a fair counter to both of them. Here we go, starting the best of 3. This is going to be round 1 against Frampty Pants, again one of the best in the world. I did catch him in the lead with the Sableye versus his Medicham, so I was pretty hyped about that. It was a good solid start, and we're building up a little bit of energy, and I want to switch out. Yes, switch out to this Jirachi. I don't feel like it's going to really put us in a bad position in this situation. I think he did too. You're going to have to go for the Flash Cannon. You need to. If you want to put out the extra damage and stand a chance at this point, you need to hit me with the Flash Cannon. I had a very good feeling it was Flash Cannon. I was not trying to call his bluff, but I know for a fact that I can either take a shield or potentially just get rid of his Skarmory with the Jirachi matchup. Jirachi's good. Now, at this point, I already have enough energy built up to hit that other Doom Desire, even though it didn't register yet, okay? Because I got off the last confusion I needed. I know it's a Sky Attack. I can tank it. I did overtap a little bit, but I still am able to access this Doom Desire, which even being resisted in the Steel to Steel matchup is still going to put out massive damage. It's like the Flash Cannon. You need that massive damage in Steel versus Steel. It's almost 100% necessary. So at this point, I did opt to come back out with the Sableye. The main reason I did that is because I built that energy up. I knew I had the foul play good to go. So I can be a threat to his Skarm. I'm saying if you want to, keep that energy and stay in your investment, you're going to have to use another shield. He was smart. He decides not to, which, to be honest, put me in a very rough position. Not a good position at all. I ended up putting myself in this position because he brought Azumarill. His team composition was well thought out. Pretty standard for the most part, right? For those who did participate in regionals, a very common 3 was Medicham, Azumarill, and Skarmory. That potentially is still going to be the dream team. Now we're going for this power gem so we can get the neutral damage off to the Azumarill. Yes, I want the neutral. Foul play is going to be resisted. At this point, for this second charge move I'm using, I did opt for the foul play only because I knew he would get rid of me before I could do anything else. And I didn't want to use another shield on my Sableye, when it has basically nothing left. I didn't feel like that was worth it. I think it was a good call. Even though I am going to be using a shield right here, I know this is play rough. I have to shield it. He's not going to try and cheese me with the Ice Beam when his Azumarill is so low on health. So I'm going for the power-up punch. And from what I remember, it's the Medicham. Yes, it is the Medicham that's going to be coming out next, which in a Medicham mirror, if you play it right with no shields, you can win. Usually what I try to do is I will have a power-up punch ready to go, use that power-up punch, and then on the second charge move, instead of opting for power-up punch, I will go for Ice Punch. The reason I do that is it's going to hit harder and quicker, and if they don't do the same thing, if they don't mirror that movement, you might be able to win that matchup. So here you can see we are going to be going for the Ice Punch. I'm praying he doesn't shield it, and look, successful. We landed it. He does not shield the Ice Punch, but at this point he still does have a shield. This isn't a 1-to-1 shield situation or a 0-to-0 shield situation. There's really no way for me to come out on top from this. I have no shields. I have nothing to protect myself. So even though I was able to get the Ice Punch through, it's gonna be GG's, very GG's. Going in for game 2 in this best of 3 against Frampty Pants, I wanted to do everything in my power to catch him off guard with the lead. I ended up going with the Jirachi because the only thing he really has that I would be very scared of in a Jirachi matchup would be Sableye, right? 1 out of 6 he would catch me off with the lead. Now, it was kind of successful. It worked. I'm not really familiar with the matchup against an Air Slash Tropius. Yeah, as you can see, he is running Air Slash. So considering that, this is going to be a positive matchup for me, right? So we're going straight for the Doom Desire. I'm not going to try and play any games. He was smart here, right? So he built up that energy with his Air Slash that he was using on that Tropius, and then he swapped out from it after shielding. Maybe not the best move, but given the situation that he ended up in, since I won the lead, it probably was the smart thing to do to save a charge move on that Tropius and then swap out. Now, I kind of do the same thing. I don't end up using a shield. I just get another Doom Desire off. Then I'm going to opt for the Skarm Mirror. Is Skarm a considerable counter to Skarm? Yes, it is. It is definitely a considerable counter to Skarm, especially in a shield matchup like this. I already know he has Tropius, and I still have the Jirachi sitting in the front. I felt like it was the right call. So rather than, sacrifice the Jirachi and let that investment go to waste, I would rather opt for the Mirror at this point. Because the third thing that I brought, if I remember correctly, was a Swampert, which the Swampert would get utterly destroyed by that Leaf Blade that Tropius he switched out from has good to go. Like, I know that Leaf Blade is charged up and he can let it off, unless, of course, he only has Air Slash and Aerial Ace, which I feel like is not going to be very likely. He's going to have Air Slash, Aerial Ace, as well as Leaf Blade. Again, one of the best in the world. Now at this point, I'm going to just keep using the Air Slash, build up a little bit of energy, get rid of his Skarmory since he had so little health left. And look at this. He brings out the Nose Boy. I should have, in the moment, my gut told me, go for the Flash Cannon. I was like, no, he's going to bring out that Tropius and try and Air Slash me since I have so little health left, but he was smarter than that. He brought out the Probopass. It was the right call. I wasted my energy against that matchup, and now I have to stay in. I don't have to, but I chose to stay in to get off that Flash Cannon against the Probopass, which that paid off. We got the Flash Cannon off, and look at this. This is what, these kind of plays is what makes them the best in the world, right? He switched out. I went for the switch. It did not register. I'm a little bit tilted. I'm a little bit salty about that, to be honest, but it just takes practice. This is why you practice, right? So now he has this Tropius out here. He's going to try and put in a lot of work. I had to get the Swampert out of there as soon as possible. He goes for this Aerial Ace. It's not going to be very effective, obviously. Steel, the Steel typing on Jirachi is going to resist both Grass and Flying type moves. So now we're going for another Doom Desire. I'm going to let Jirachi do its thing, even though it's not the most ideal situation since we're both 0-to-0 shields and Tropius is just a complete monster in Great League PvP. I'm going to be able to win. It's not insanely ideal by any means. Even his Probopass that's going to come out again, since I'm going to need three more Confusions to get to it, the Probopass is just going to outspeed me. Probopass is going to be a lot faster than Jirachi, so I can't win this matchup. If the energy reflected sooner or registered sooner, or if confusion wasn't so slow, it might have been a different story. But it's fine anyway, because we saw he had the Rock Slide, now he has the Thunderbolt. I think that was Frampty Pants basically saying, GG's, you took this battle, go ahead, do the Hydro Cannon spamming, and we are. So we are going to take game 2, which is going to put us 1-1 in our best of 3, again, against Frampty Pants, one of the best in the world. Now, we are going in for game 3 in this best of 3 against Frampty Pants. I opt for the legendary 3 in regionals, Skarmory, Medicham, Azumarill, and I go for the traditional Skarm lead. The only thing that's going to shut me down really hard is Probopass. He led with the Probo, very GG's. I'm not even going to try and reach a Flash Cannon. The switch was a little bit glitchy there, but I do have to get out of there as soon as possible. And this play is perfect. He had the Sableye to switch into. He knew if I lose the lead, I'm going to have to switch. He played it perfectly. Team composition played a huge role in this best of 3 between myself and Frampty Pants, right? So I do end up using a shield because if I get another Power Punch off, I feel like I can still put out a considerable amount of damage against a Sableye in this matchup. In retrospect, it probably was a bad idea. You do not want to stay in negative matchups like this. If they want to win the matchup, give them the matchup. I should have conserved my shields. Maybe. Maybe not. That's why we're practicing, right? But you see, we were able to get off one power-up punch. We did a lot of counter damage. Now we're able to get off another power-up punch, and we are going to take that other shield from the Sableye. GG's to the lag. I think this best of 3 could have gone a lot different. Am I super salty about it? No, it's just practice. We're just having fun, getting some battles in here to bring to you guys, since Frampty Pants is one of the best in the world, okay? Now, at this point, if I remember correctly, I actually go back in with the Skarm. Yes, I do, because I know I have a little bit of energy built up, and the Sableye, I know it's not going to KO me. So this foul play, I'm pretty sure this is foul play. The foul play is still going to hurt. Sableye is still going to get same type attack bonus from it. It's still going to hurt. It is a considerable matchup against the Skarmory, especially since I want to save my energy for that Probopass that he has, and I don't want to use a shield. But look at that. Very clutch. He even has the shiny flex, and he got the shield off of me, and that was probably what ended up taking this match. Yes, lag did play a part in this matchup, obviously, but you know, there's not much you can really do about that. You can't really control the lag, unfortunately. There are things you can do to try and prevent it, or, you know, circumnavigate, or to work around the lag, but, you know, if it happens, it happens. Now, he brings out the Skarm, and I bring out the Azumarill. So this matchup is going to be very determining in terms of who is going to win in this best of 3. It's a fairly even matchup for the most part when it comes to Azumarill versus Skarmory. They're both going to deal neutral damage to each other, and they're both heavy hitters with the fast attacks and with the charge attacks. So potentially this comes down to maybe who has better IVs. I don't know. That might be a thing, actually. That might be something to consider. The main thing to consider in this matchup, when he has 0 shields, I have 0 shields. He has a full health Skarm, I have a full health Azumarill, right? Hydro Pump. If I had Hydro Pump on this Azumarill during this best of 3 against Frampty Pants, I would have won. I definitely would have won. I'm 100% confident saying that. But anyways, so he does have, I believe that was CMP is what determined that. I was trying to press on the Ice Beam, but it was not going through. He does have charge move priority, so GG's to CMP because it's tilting. But even if this, you know, even if I was able to get to a Sky Attack in this matchup with my Skarm versus his Probopass, it's not going to put out anywhere near enough damage to take the W. So, number 1, again, in retrospect, lag did indeed play a factor, but also, number 2, Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump on your Azumarill. I very strongly encourage that if your community has opted for regionals and your running a Azumarill and it does not have Hydro Pump, I strongly encourage you to get Hydro Pump on it. Now that might put you in a tough spot. I know the charge TM struggle is real, but also to address the question that I constantly get of, do I use Ice Beam and Hydro Pump, or do I opt for Play Rough and Hydro Pump? To be honest with you, I really do not believe there is a definitive answer. It comes down to preference. It can come down to your team composition. It can come down to what your strategy is. For the most part, my preference and with my opinion, I would opt for Bubble, Play Rough, and Hydro Pump. And there's actually very simple reasoning behind that. I just consider the top meta matchups with that moveset, right? Because again, in that zero to shield situation with the Azumarill versus Skarmory, if I had Hydro Pump, I would have won. But I definitely do not want to get rid of Play Rough. One, because of the mirror with Azumarill versus Azumarill. Number two, because of the Play Rough super effective TKO potential against Medicham. Number three, the Play Rough super effective TKO potential against Sableye. And there are also other things that Play Rough is going to hit for super effective damage in regionals, right? If they're running Medicham, Altaria, etc. There's so many different options that people can use in regionals, and I think that's why some communities are opting to have their Mirror Cup as the regionals format. So, to put that in battlers terms, Bubble, Play Rough, Hydro Pump, OP, and Brampty Pants. GG's. So to end this video, Shiny Rayquaza HYPE, official 2019 World Championships Invitational Hype, and GG's to the battles and GG's to the video because it's over. Again, if you enjoyed, subscribe if you feel my vibe, and power up punch the notification bell for all the PvP content. That is it for today's video. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good stinking day.